Hey, this is Carlos. Welcome back to the video podcast. Today we're talking about 3 things to never say to a man. You know, when guys get together, we often talk about how our wives or girlfriends or significant others get all mad when we say the wrong thing. But the fact is that men have their own verbal tripwires that set us off, even if we don't admit it. Even if you happen to say something that gets under our skin, we'll usually play it off like it's no big deal. But it is possible to push a guy away with what you say. Maybe you're talking about something perfectly neutral, like a friend of yours who's getting married in a couple of months, or maybe had a heated discussion about him coming over and spending a little more time with you, but it wasn't a full-blown fight. Whatever it was, there was a certain combination of words exchanged that you don't know what exactly turned him off. It's a frustrating position to be in, so let me help you crack the code a little bit on what guys are thinking by showing you the worst things you could say to a guy. Generally speaking, there are 4 main styles of communication with your guys. And here's a little news flash: men only respond to one of these styles, so you want to turn off these other 3. The other 3 turn him off. In fact, this is directly connected to the things you should never say to a guy. Communication style number 1 is passive patty. I'm sure you're familiar with this person. It's the "I'm fine" kind of reply that falls into this category. You know, I found myself in this situation plenty of times, and it's not a fun game to play with somebody. Since a passive communicator won't say what she really thinks or wants, the guy is left in the dark trying to figure it out for himself. Hey, maybe she's afraid to rock the boat, or she holds back on expressing her needs in the relationship. She might even be thinking that it's better to let stuff slide rather than getting into an ugly confrontation. The problem is that it's unhealthy to cover up your thoughts or feelings, especially if it comes to statements like, "It's nothing, don't worry about it, I'm fine, it's cool, whatever you want." Vague statements like that can be toxic to your relationship, and they don't really communicate what you're saying. Communication style number 2 is aggressive Annie, and this is the polar opposite of the passive communicator. Instead of putting her needs on the back burner, the aggressive person will put hers front and center at the expense of other people. And what's equally toxic about this communication style is that it thrives on conflict, not to mention deliberately making other people uncomfortable. So instead of being able to say what they really mean, they're really taking honesty way too far. After all, she's just being real with you, and you're likely to hear some classic gems from aggressive Annie. "It's my way or the highway. This is how it should be. Don't like it? There's the door. I'm not taking no for an answer. It's not my fault if they can't handle the real me." Oh, and then the classic, "If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best." That's an eye roller right there. Obviously, this style is especially dangerous during an argument. You'll be talking over them or not listening to them and trying to dominate the discussion. And again, that's the hallmark of aggressive communication. Communication style number 3 is passive-aggressive Pam. This one's even trickier because it combines the worst parts of the last 2 we just talked about. While this communicator knowingly or unknowingly hides their resentment like the passive type, she doesn't stop there. Instead of stuffing her feelings down out of sight, she'll keep it simmering just below the surface. And you can sense it's there, but it's almost impossible to deal with. Even worse, passive-aggressive communicators involve sarcastic comments, saying something under her breath, and indirectly undermining the other person. But passive-aggressiveness is thinly disguised contempt, and this makes it really hard for guys to handle. The put-downs and insults aren't as obvious, and this person will often smile even though she's really seething inside. Some of the things she might say are things like, "Well, most guys would take their girl out somewhere nice on their anniversary, but I guess you do things differently." It's kind of a disguised insult. Or, "Oh, you can actually change a tire? Pfft, cool." Kind of a backhanded compliment. Or another classic, "Can't you take a joke?" Which is hostility disguised with humor, and that one's particularly nasty and very subtly destructive to your relationship. And finally, we come to communication style number 4, which is the good one, which is assertive. Out of all the styles, this is the one that men find the sexiest. This is the communication style you should choose and shoot for. But why? After all, women are taught that assertiveness can be seen as bitchy. Well, in reality, it's the exact opposite of that. Assertiveness is actually felt as someone expressing what they really want. The biggest reason that assertiveness is sexy like this is it's a healthy expression of needs. It's letting your man know your feelings without having to hurt his. She simply finds gentle words to use that don't attack her guy. They actually feel good to him since she's being direct without being too vindictive or manipulative. Men don't have to second guess her words or actions. She knows exactly what to say and do to make him fall for her, and it has nothing to do with compatibility. You see, most men unconsciously test a girl to find out if she's the one. However, there is one other quality that makes an assertive communicator actually stand out above all the rest. It's her ability to connect with a guy in a way that no other woman can. She knows exactly what to say and do to make him fall for her, and it has nothing to do with compatibility. You see, men unconsciously test women to see if she's the one. And if you can figure out a man's connection style, you'll effortlessly pass any test he throws at you. If you'd like to learn more about this, go over to my video presentation at datingadviceguru.com/connection code. That's datingadviceguru.com/connection code. I'll be seeing you again soon. This is Carlos Cavallo with datingadviceguru.com.